as we get started on this, I want to first talk a little bit about why it is that I wanted to go over a couple of these items today specifically. One is, this is what you guys requested I go over last week, right? I think everybody wanted to know a little bit more about when we start looking at the different opportunities that we have for lead generation. I suggested either going over today the open house playbook and really kind of digging into what does it look like when we are generating leads for open house, or focusing a little bit more on online lead generation. And the most requested item that we got was focusing more so on online lead generation. And so I wanted to dig into that a little bit more today. With that being said, when we really start looking at things like our online lead generation and how we have the ability to cultivate leads through various sources, we want to kind of look at it in a little bit more of a holistic view versus just what does it look like to run a Facebook ad? What does it look like to run an Instagram ad? What do these different elements look like? And so one of the things that I really loved about a couple of the sessions this weekend or this week during Mega Camp, there was a specific session that had a lot to do with branding overall, right? And they talked about what does it look like when we have a brand presence. And we know that in this business, there truly is only one secret of the business, right? That secret is that when it comes to working with our clients, right, there's three kind of universal laws. And I used to say that our financial goal was directly related to the number of people that are in our world that know us, like us, and trust us, and think of us first when they think of real estate. I want to add a couple caveats on that, right? That has changed a little bit because we are in a real estate market that while we're at the highest transaction count, one of the hottest markets that we've ever experienced at all, we also have more real estate agents in the market than there have ever been. So it's not just about being the first person somebody thinks of when they think of real estate, because the truth of the matter is that everybody now knows at least a couple of real estate agents. The second part of that is that we have to be the person that they find the most credible, right? They have to trust us with one of the biggest financial decisions of their life. And the third thing is that we have to be easy to reach. They have to know what it looks like or how they can get in contact with us quickly. And they have to trust that we're going to be able to not just deliver the best level of service as this sort of consultant, but that we're also going to be able to deliver the best service for them in terms of meeting them where they want, when they want it. And everybody's a little bit different with that. And so that's really whatever your financial goals are is going to be directly related to the number of people that meet that general three criteria that we're thinking about when we think of real estate. One of the elements that they talked about with brand is that our brand is more than just our logo. So we have a logo, right? And then we also have what is that associated with and how do we kind of guide that forward? And so what I wanted to dig into a little bit today is a couple different tricks, tips that we utilize in terms of online lead generation. And then we'll also go through some of the elements of what we can actually do to generate leads. So there's the branding portion of it, right? And a lot of that is marketing based. And so when we start looking at something like online lead generation, we start off in a very marketing based lead gen source, right? We want to make sure that we're including elements of any online lead gen strategy that are also prospecting enhanced. So in the Millionaire Real Estate Agent book, there is a section of the book that lists all the different lead generation types, those that are marketing based, and then those that are prospecting based. We know that our business must be prospecting based and marketing enhanced. And so the reason that I want to dig into that a little bit is that whatever your lead generation sources or levers might be, anything that we're going over today is on more of that marketing side. When we look at a lead generation source that is marketing based, so a couple of elements of lead gen that is marketing based, online lead gen where we're posting out something with the expectation that we're going to get some type of engagement, sending out a mailer, right, and hoping that we get some type of engagement, posting out a flyer, hoping that we get some type of engagement. All of that is marketing based. It's passive lead generation, right? Whereas when we look at prospecting, we're looking at things like actually making phone calls or actually having an open house and having conversations with people that are coming in, or door knocking. That's prospecting. Our business must be prospecting based and marketing enhanced. So with that being said, when we look at an element like this type of lead generation, it's not necessarily going to be something that I would look at as being standalone. We don't just want to do social media ads, right? We want to make sure that if we're getting engagement, we're engaging back, that we have calls to action, that the ultimate goal is that we create a two-way conversation where we can get that person into our database. And so I want to start with that because I think it's extremely, extremely important for us to really understand the difference. And I know online lead gen is kind of that shiny object, and we want to make sure that we're utilizing it to the best of kind of our ability, or incorporating it into a bigger strategy, and we kind of go from there. The second part of that I want to note as well is that, like any form of lead generation, time on task over time. There was a really amazing example, one of the speakers this weekend who decided that doing YouTube videos was going to be the way that he chose to generate leads. Now, obviously that again is very marketing based, and can it get results? Absolutely, 100%. He's had absolute massive results because he's been consistent with this. So this also has a lot to do with consistency. If you're looking for the lead generation source that's going to give you leads right now that are ready to convert, this is not necessarily that source, because when we've talked about things like, you know, how close somebody is to the point of decision, with online leads, they're a little bit further out versus something like an expired or a FSBO that is raising their hand and saying, I want to transact business, or I wanted to transact business, or I'm literally in the portion of transacting business right now. So we also want to understand a little bit more of that. In the example of the gentleman who did YouTube videos, he decided to do a 100-day challenge. He did 100 YouTube videos in 100 days. He did not receive any sort of feedback until his 80th video. He has stayed consistent with it, now doing 2 videos that he does every single week for real estate specifically. And he mentioned that he's getting about 15 leads a day coming in from that, right? So it's that consistency, right? That consistency over time. So I just wanted to go ahead and note that. On here, a couple of things that we're going to go over. So I am going to actually pop this up on the screen, my friends. Oh, let me go ahead and open that up. So my making sure we can screen share this great stuff. We're going to start off and we're going to go through this really quickly. I created it as a download for you, so that way you have, you know, general access to it. You can go back and use it as a guide, because what I really want to go into a little bit more of is digging into the actual, you know, lead generation strategies. So let me share this with you guys, and then we're going to talk about actual lead gen. I will show you guys a couple of the different things that are in command as well. Let me share my screen. Where's this? Okay, great. Okay, so where we're going to start off a little bit here, and let me see if I can zoom that in a little. Are you guys able to, can I get a thumbs up, Randy, if you can see that? Beautiful. Okay, so this is one of the downloads that is going to be available in the chat box. This first part of it is really going to be a little bit more of tips and tricks for just kind of maintaining a consistent brand presence overall. Now, again, brand is more than just your logo. It's how somebody treats you. And yet we want to make sure that we have a consistent presence online, because it's not just making sure that individuals are thinking of you first, but also that they find you credible and that you are easy to reach. And so if you do not have contact information available on your social media sites, if they don't know how to potentially reach you, you are losing opportunity from the presence that you're creating online. With that being said, number one is pretty simple, right? It's making sure that we have some type of cover image that is going to convey what we do and what is available. There are some phenomenal cover images that are already available to you guys in KW Command. in the designs platform. So you're more than welcome to use some of those. Just make sure you are including contact information on it, right? Or letting them know if they click on it, making sure that you're utilizing that little paragraph section that you have in there to include contact information or guide them somewhere. This is also a great opportunity to utilize something like, would you like to download my app, right? I am going to talk about that a bit today because what I've already seen, we actually got a sneak preview of some of the updates that are coming in the technology by the end of the year. And it blew me away what I saw yesterday. And so I want to make sure you guys are utilizing some of that opportunity as well. So this is going to give you just some overall guides around that, making sure that you have clear, what your business name is. You have your website, your phone number, your email presence. How are they reaching you? Making sure that when you look at any sort of graphic that you have, we always go by the right 80-20 principle. 80% image, you want to still grab that attention, and 20% of that text. So a couple just things that are on there. There are some awesome Facebook covers that are in designs. The other piece that I want to note on here that's going to be really important, when we start looking at advertising our page, don't get me wrong, you guys. I love when you include that you work on our office on your Facebook business page. And when clients are going and clicking on that, they are now coming to our page, not yours. And so you'll notice, as an example, on my page, I actually have two different pieces on my personal Facebook page. The first one says, obviously, that I am at Keller Williams, Southeast Los Angeles. That's one element of it. But I also have a secondary one that is noting my personal branding page. So what happens? Somebody comes over here into your information and they click on the brand and now they've gone to the brokerage page. You want to make sure that you are including a link to your personal business Facebook page. You can do it. So you can see right here in this particular version, it notes Realtor at Addison Homes Real Estate, right? So that it's guiding to their personal business page. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I took this one step further on my page. I have Realtor Team Leader at Keller Williams Stella. And then I have my job title literally says, like my page for real estate updates and my personal business page, right? So I actually included a call to action versus just having Realtor at like Addison Homes Real Estate or Rivera Homes Real Estate or whatever that might be for you. It's like I put, and you can see it on my profile page. It's like my page for real estate updates I went and made a call to action because I want individuals to go in there and I want to direct them on what they're doing so that I can gain more of that traction so that they're able to see more of my business posts. So a couple things, there are going to be the ability to create content in Command. There's a lot of resources there. You want to make sure that you are posting real estate content regularly. The one thing that I did not post here, and there's actually a scheduler, I'll show it to you guys in a little bit. There is a scheduler that is literally available to you in KW Command. So on your Facebook business page, you could choose to automate your content a month in advance if you wanted to. And I'll go over a phenomenal resource that's available for that. What I would suggest, whether it's once a week or once a month, you go in and you figure out, okay, what's my generation strategy for just consistent content that's going to get posted overall during this time. You're going to find I put in here a full guide of exactly how to do this. There is some directions here on how to create a campaign as well. I'm gonna dig into that in a little bit, but obviously I want to go a little bit more into depth some of these, so we're going to hold that one for towards the end. The other thing I want to know, when we look at photos, if you're looking for something that is going to be available for branding, I included a couple different areas that you can get different photos for your pages, stock images that you're able to utilize for free. So I just want to go ahead and note that as well. There's some sample photos that are available here. I actually want to dig into this piece a little bit more. So I'm thinking you guys are able to see the screen. We're gonna go right in here. Sorry about a little password ad manager, guys. All right, thumbs up if you can see the login here to command. I get a thumbs up. Yep. Beautiful, awesome. Okay, so this is going to be our general. When we log into command, we know we have our general overall command profile. There's going to be a couple key features that I want to point out to you. Namely, when we come right over here, so we know designs is right in here. This is where you can create your graphics. We're not going to dig into that today. What we're going to dig into here is campaigns specifically.
So Monica, I'm sorry.
Yes.
Are you you're sharing your screen right now?
I am sharing. Are you not able to see it? What do you see? Nope.
No, I see a kitchen and it's just a static picture. It says social media failed. Yeah, there you go.
There we go. Give me one. Here we go. Okay, what do you see now?
I see it now. I see campaigns.
Beautiful, awesome. Okay, thank you. So where we started off, I did go ahead and just highlight designs right down here, which is going to be where we are able to see the platform for creating different designs, whether that is Facebook cover pages, whatever that might be for us. Right when what I actually clicked on today is going to be campaigns. There are some amazing updates in campaigns that I cannot wait to share with you guys. We're going to dig into that in a little bit. But what we're going to start off is actually the social post. So right down here. In social post, this is a campaign scheduler that is available for you right within command. So you can actually go in here, you can create a social post, right? And you can go ahead and well, this one doesn't have any linked campaigns, but you can actually go in and we're gonna log into my account. Sorry guys, give me 1 second. I'm gonna get you guys logged into my account because I wanna show you guys what this looks like fully. And while we're getting logged in over here, I do wanna show you guys another phenomenal resource that you have every single month that comes out. We talk, those of you that are on my Monday calls, we definitely talk about this. 31. Okay, so this comes out every single month. There is a content calendar that is going to be available. It's on Outfront Magazine. It is released on KW Connect, and it will say, "Wow, your audience with fresh content." Week 1, August 1st, share a personal goal. August 2nd, remind your audience how valuable their home is. It has a clickable home value graphic that is going to take you straight into designs and log you in so that you can create that value graphic and share with your clients. So it takes you right over here to all the designs. You can choose which one you want and go ahead and post at it, right? It goes through every single week. So as an example, right here, it has trend alert graphics, encourage energy savings, etc. There's going to be a lot of different resources that are going to be available here for you.
Where was that at, Monica?
Say that again.
Can you repeat that? Where was that at?
That's it, Outfront Magazine. I will actually share the link with you. Why don't I go ahead and do that? I'll drop it into the comment.
Thank you.
Absolutely. And this comes out every month. Okay, so I went ahead and dropped it into the comment box. Now, when we come right over here into campaigns, so as an example, let's say you're figuring out your social media strategy for the week. We're going to talk about 2 different types of social media today. One type of social media is going to be more of, how do I put this? More credibility building social media. So we said that in order to make sure that clients think of us first when they think of real estate, 1, we want to make sure that they find us credible. We're also easy to reach, and we have that mind share. This piece, the 31 conversation starters, the content ideas for posting on social media over the course of the month is to say, hey, here's something to post every day to help you build mind share in your clientele. And two, so that you don't have to think about it, right? So that you have consistent real estate content that you can actually post out. The tool in campaigns, right over here in social posts, which is the scheduler, says, hey, I can come right in here and every single week I can upload a potential piece of content, schedule it out, or publish it immediately, and it will automatically post on my Facebook page. You can go ahead and utilize the content creation calendar to kind of build out what that content strategy looks like. Right over here in this section called Quick Posts, you are also going to see a bunch of shuffled items. So video campaigns, social posts, leadership content, etc. You can actually come right in here, click shuffle, and it'll create a new post. I'm going to go ahead and click the share button here. This is actually giving me content that I can post immediately. I can schedule it out or I can publish. So in this particular case, I'm going to go ahead and publish immediately. I am selecting my page right over here. And I'm going to go ahead and just write publish post. And that's going to publish out to my Facebook page, right? So you connect all your accounts. You can also post out to some of your other profiles. So I went ahead, it's showing right here. This is posted out today, August 27th. Here's the full post. Here's what the image looks like. Now I can go ahead and do that again, and let me shuffle this out. And I'm going to just show you guys really quickly, how do we schedule the post? So I'm going to schedule one out to go out on Sunday at 10 a.m. I'm going to select my page right over here, and I'm going to click schedule post. It's pretty simple on here. Now this is obviously, I'm using some of the shuffled items because I want to show you guys what this looks like quickly. Now, what I would highly recommend is that you schedule a block of time, whether on a monthly or weekly basis. I personally like weekly because I'm really big on posting current events or current content that is going on that is going to be relevant for my market. If you are focused on a specific county, you may want to have, information that is posted out about that. If you are posted on a specific type of property, so let's say as an example, you specialize in condos or whatever that might be, then you may want to post content that is going to be very specific for that. You can schedule it out a week in advance. This is for content to keep us top of mind, right? So this is for consistency. Now, there are a couple other tools that are available in here. We're not going to go into direct mail today. I do think direct mail is a phenomenal part of the strategy. And one of the things I love about the direct mail that is available in Command is the ability to add QR codes on our postcards so that if your clients are doing things like downloading your app or visiting your homepage, you can track that. So I love that, but what we're actually going to talk about a little bit more is our paid ad campaigns right over here. So in this particular case, we're going to come into create campaign. You're going to go ahead and select social ad. In the second handout that I gave you, there's going to be a couple different ways to generate online leads. We are going to start with not the first one that I posted, right? So this is going to be a little bit different. We're going to go through a couple of these different items. So there's a couple things you can do here. With the scheduler, I want you to focus on content that is really geared towards more free content. On the online lead examples and content that I gave you, the first one is weekly, I got a buyer post, okay? That is something that we utilize. Let me come right over here really quick. Weekly, I got a buyer post. This is a strategy that was cultivated by a gentleman named Tony DeCello. Tony DeCello is a mega agent coach. Oh, you guys are seeing the wrong page. What is? Sorry, with my screen share, my friends. You guys have the wrong page up there. There we go. Okay. Weekly, I've got a buyer post. Awesome. So we were in the social media scheduler. This was cultivated by a gentleman by the name of Tony DeCello. Tony DeCello is now a mega agent maps coach. He's a coach who is working with some of the top agents in the nation, those that are doing hundreds to thousands of transactions. When he started this, there was not social media. right? Tony DeSallo's an older gentleman now. He's been in the RE/MAX Hall of Fame. He is has been a KW Mega agent, inducted into, he's like a huge maps coach, etc. When Tony started the I Got a Buyer post, there was no social media. So when he started it, what he would do is he would actually create a post that said, I've got a buyer. I am working with Mr. and Mrs. Jones, and they're looking for a home in Los Angeles, in the whatever area, for about 500K price point. No anyone looking to sell, right? I've got a buyer looking for X, pre-approved for X. They're looking for a 3-bedroom or more in this area. No anyone looking to sell. He put that on a one piece of paper. He folded that paper in half, and he mails it out to that area, or he dropped it off at that area. Extremely, extremely simple. Here's the things about generating listings. Sellers don't always understand that we work with other agents and cooperate with other agents to get a buyer for their property. A lot of times they think we have all the buyers. And so when they see these posts of, I've got a buyer looking for X, I've got a buyer looking for this, I've got a buyer looking for that, it stops them, it makes them think, it triggers them to say, maybe I would want to sell, okay? A couple of the techniques, so then Tony DeSallo obviously did this for a very long time. A gentleman by the name of Cody Gibson, whose claim to fame was generating 10 listings a month during his career. He is now one of the top expansion agents within our company, and was recently promoted to Vice President of Expansion for Keller Williams. He said, great, why don't we take the same concept and use it on social media? And so utilizing the social scheduler, one of the highlights that I want to give you here, use this on both your personal page and your business page. Or you can put it on your business page and share it to your personal page. You want to get that organic traffic for your clients, right? It needs to be specific. So it can't just be, I've got X buyer. You want to be really specific. You want to feel really authentic. So working with Mr. and Mrs. X or Mrs. X or whatever that name is, last name, incorporating the area. So don't just be general anywhere in Los Angeles County. If they're looking at Culver City, note Culver City. If they're looking for Downey, note Downey. If they're looking for downtown Downey, note that, right? Are they looking for 2 bedrooms? Are they looking for 3 bedrooms? What does that look like? Are there specifics like they want a pool, like X? If you're looking at units, is there a specific unit count that they're looking for, right? Is there a specific building type they're looking for? Whatever that may be, you want to make sure that you're cultivating that in here. And then you want to have a very specific potential price point as well. Okay, so you want to make sure you're noting that in. It is highly recommended. This was actually, they went and studied this and saw when they got the most engagement, and they recommended the best time between 1 to 3 p.m. on Wednesdays. So I ask you why it's Wednesdays. Apparently people like to stop and scroll on hump day, right? On the afternoon. Or weekdays, late morning. So not early, late morning, right? If you're going to do this on a weekday. This is something that you want to be very consistent about posting out, so you can use the scheduler to do this. The other thing is this. I see when people will utilize this and they'll go create a fancy graphic, and that fancy photo has the text on it. Facebook actually doesn't like that. Facebook scans the photos, and clients don't like that. It looks a little bit too salesy. One of the things Facebook does is in the algorithm, if the photo has too much text on it, it's not always going to be one of the first things that gets shown up, right? So on Facebook specifically, you want to make sure that you are, utilizing, just use a photo of a house or something that's really general, and then have the body of the paragraph show most of the text. One of the things that Cody said, misspelled words don't matter. Sometimes people like it, right? They want to feel that you're human. They like emojis. Emojis actually will cultivate higher response rates for your clients as well. So weekly, I've got a buyer post that you're sharing out. Now, the second piece here is going to be really utilizing your social media to stay in contact with your clients. You have a database of people that is available on social media. This is something we like to call digital door knocking. I don't know if you ever got into the chat box and you can see when the light is green, somebody is online. That's always a great time to send them a message. Here's the thing. If you are consistent with posting about real estate, because we went and scheduled our content for the month in advance, and we use the social content calendar, because we post regularly these I've got a buyer posts, because our cover photo is demonstrating that we're in real estate, because on our profile, we're linking them and directing them to our business page, some of the things we talked about at the beginning. Then not every conversation on social media has to 100% be, do you want to buy, sell, or invest in real estate, right? We want to build a relationship. So part of this is utilizing our social media as a strategy to start going through and building our database and building relationships. Go through everybody on your list. You can send out, this is through social media, through Facebook, you can send out 50 messages a day. So if you did not know how many messages you could do every single day, you can send out 50 every single day before Facebook is like your spam, okay? So you can do 50 direct messages a day. Depending on how many people you have in your network, really look at dividing out the alphabet over your month, and you can send a message like, hey, what are your plans for the summer? What are your plans post-pandemic? How are you doing? It's been a while since we talked. How are things going? Just wanted to check in. Start with A and rotate through your database, okay? Do this one time a month. And I don't mean do everybody on the same day. I mean contact each person in your network one time a month. Now, if you have a lot of real estate agents in your network, that it's up to you if that's people that you want to connect with as well. This is really geared for your clientele, so you can reach out to them and kind of consistently build that relationship. You want it to be direct, short, to the point. You want to engage them in conversation. Give them the opportunity to bring up real estate. Now, if you do want to be a little bit more direct about real estate, you can. Just out of curiosity, I always want to be a resource for you. I wouldn't necessarily do this on the first message. You want to kind of build a little bit about that relationship. People don't care how much you know until they know how much you care, right? And this works really well when it's consistent with content regularly posted about real estate. Then it becomes a little bit more of a lead generation tool, right? Now, that's what you can do for free. So everything we just talked about until now is what you can do on social media 100% for free through the scheduler, right? What you can do in terms of maintaining that credibility in terms of your branding over time, in terms of lead generating and reconnecting with your clients, in terms of making these I've got a buyer posts. I love organic lead gen, right? I like that form of lead gen. I think it gives us the opportunity to create more of a relationship. We know that the majority of agents will do their first transaction from somebody in their own personal network. We know that the majority of top producers do the majority of their transactions from referrals. It tends to be from the network around you. And so I highly recommend that whatever the lead generation lever that you're pulling is, whatever that is that's part of your 135 business plan, that doing sphere of influence, whether that's connecting with them through social media, kind of building out this credibility, that is a big part of your social media lead gen strategy and your strategy for lead generation overall. Secondary, if you know that utilizing social is something that is really important to you and you want to add on an online paid lead generation platform, then this is where we go into online lead generation that's paid. If you're somebody that was already utilizing a tool like, as an example, using Zillow or any of those things. Now, here's the caveat on that. Anytime we pick a form of lead generation that is paid, we want to know that we have the most control over it possible. My biggest issue with Zillow as an online lead generator, aside from the point that they are now a brokerage and in competition, is that if they change their compensation model for how they generate leads tomorrow, you have no control over it. Okay, we've seen that happen over time. If they decided that instead of a monthly payment, now you're paying a referral fee, you have no control over that, right? So if you're gonna pick an online lead generation strategy, I personally really like Facebook as a piece of that strategy. We know Facebook could change their algorithm tomorrow. They could change the way they help you generate leads tomorrow. And yet once you generate those leads are yours. Now it's up to you how you stay in contact with them and what that consistency looks like. And we'll get into that. So I just want to go ahead and use that as a caveat, but this is an online lead generation samples. The first is advertising a listing. I'm gonna go through this really quickly, and then I will note there's a couple things that have actually been edited. I'm gonna share that with you so you can take notes on it. And then I'm actually gonna go into Command and show you a little bit about how this works. Okay, if you are advertising a listing, make sure to get permission to use somebody else's. MLS rules state that if you are sharing a listing from a syndication platform, you are more than welcome to utilize any listing. So what does that mean? That means if you are sharing a direct link from your website onto social media of a listing, you can do that. What you cannot do is then go take those pictures, run an ad, and generate leads on it without permission. So I want to make sure that there's clarity around that. In this event, make sure you get permission. I'm basically going to note there are a lot of information about how to go through the lead generation platform. I will note this. I always like to target within 30 miles of the listing. Under interest, I personally love selecting Zillow, Trulia, renters insurance, mortgage. I want to go ahead and note some of those different items. Why? It's because we talk about stacking the deck in our favor. Might it not be true that somebody that goes and is clicking on Zillow all the time is potentially interested in real estate? Either a buyer looking for properties or a seller looking for their home's estimate, right? So we want to stack the deck in our favor by utilizing some of those search concepts to, to kind of really solidify who we're targeting around our listing. The second thing, in the post, you need to have a call to action. So I see this a lot of times. We go in and we make a nice little post. This one says, great deal in the heart of Clarkston with an open floor plan, large back deck that overlooks a pond. And then that's it. That's all that's on the ad. You need to advise people what to do and what they're going to get in exchange for that. Okay. In this, click below for all the info, price, and more photos. Right over here, it says just listed waterfront home. Right. So you want to make sure that you're utilizing that. You'll notice there's also a lot of emojis here. Please, please, please use emojis. People like it when you're human. People like to have fun with it. This is much more likely to stop the scroll than something with no emojis that's just really, really dry on it. Right. So this has the photos right over here. There's actually, I included a link for the video for you guys as well, so you can go through. You can also, so the first was advertising a listing. You can share a list of price reduced homes. I'm going to give you guys exactly how to do that. Within, let me make sure this goes through. No, I got to stop share real quick. And then we're going to share the screen again. Okay. Oh. So I am actually going over to my KW website. All of you have this. And I might say, you know what? I want to share a list of price reduced homes. Just go in Downey, Norwalk, Bellflower. So as of right here, oh, I'm sorry, this is Downey, Norwalk. So as of right here, I have Downey, Norwalk, Paramount, Bellflower, Artesia, all of this is going to note it in. I can do an ad that says I'm going to share a list of price reduced homes with you. I can come right in here to my website. I can click more. And I can come right over here to price reduced in the last 7 days. I'm going to go ahead and click that. There it is. I can now see all of the homes that were price reduced in the last 7 days. You can see this home was price reduced by $79,000, $100. I don't know what that agent was doing there, $100. Is that $12? That is 12, right? 5.5 thousand, 5.5 thousand. That's people trying to trick the system, right? Small price reductions there. 26,000, 15,000, etc. And I'm going to copy this link. right here at the top. And I'm gonna use that in my paid campaign, okay? That's how you cultivate a list of price reduced homes in a particular area. So this actually gives you step-by-step instructions on how to go and do that so that you can do what that looks like. So as an example, this is this individual, Nick Bolton, he went and created a graphic. It says, looking for a great deal on a Bloomfield home, or a downtown Downey home, or a Downey home, or a Norwalk home, or whatever you want to put in that. We have a list of the most recent price drops and it updates in real time. Click below our call to action. Click below to see the best deals on your future home. See the latest price drops in Bloomfield. Click to get a great deal. Learn more. Okay, price reduction in Bloomfield, free list of reduced homes. All we did was go ahead and click that toggle of price reduction in 7 days. And now we're collecting their information. They're going to our website. If they start clicking in, they can start looking at homes that are interesting to them. Your contact information will be on every single listing. If they go and heart a home, it'll compel them to register. It'll invite them to download the app. If they're looking at it on mobile, it's going to invite them to download your app, right? So not only are you capturing the lead on the front end, but now you've gotten them into your ecosystem and into your world, and it's going to try to get them a step further. It's going to try to get them to download the app. Okay, so that's going to be a huge potential resource there as well. Another type of ad you can run. Now, this is going to give you a lot of what the setup is going to look like on these. It's going to show you how to create an ad in campaign. Right over here, I kind of went and gave you guys as much resources as possible in terms of how to create a campaign. I'm gonna stop sharing this for a little bit, and I'm actually gonna show you guys a really cool other feature that literally just came out, because I think this is gonna be really important. So we come in here and we're gonna go ahead and do, let me make sure you guys are seeing the right thing. You guys see new social ad campaign? Awesome, beautiful. Okay, so we come right in here and we have a new social ad that we're gonna be launching in. I'm gonna go ahead and say test for class. And we're gonna say advertise, or actually I'm gonna do, I don't have a graphic for it, but we're gonna advertise a listing. I think it's gonna be the best bet. I'm gonna go ahead and click that I'm gonna advertise it on Facebook. You can also advertise on Twitter and on Instagram. I'm gonna go ahead and create campaign. Now, if I have active listings on the MLS that have already been listed, it'll show up right over here. I'm gonna change this to all status and I'm gonna put all listings. So I'm using, let's say I'm gonna be using somebody else's listing for this. Anybody have an active listing? Brandy, do you have an active listing right now that I can pull off the MLS?
I do not.
Okay, so we're gonna just pull, let's see. We'll pull something, let's see, I'm in Cedar Rapids. Let's see if I can find something in Downey. So I'm just gonna go ahead and search for it off the MLS. And I want something that has good photos. I'm gonna go and find something that's active. Okay, we're gonna hope these photos look like they're in good condition. We're gonna go ahead and select this one. Okay, so there's actually a full guide that's gonna be available for you, even if you've run a campaign on here before. This guide is gonna show up because there are a few brand new features that are gonna be available within campaign. They are gonna fill out as much of the information as possible. Right over here, this is where you wanna edit the text. Do not just leave the text that it pulls in, okay? So in this, and also do not include the address, right? We include city, we don't want to include the address. So here's a good one. This is a 4-unit investment property looking for a great, looking for a great investment opportunity in Downey. Right, check out this 4 unit. Ready to live in one, I don't know, whatever you want this to be, right? I'm gonna add in some emojis. Maybe I put a house or something. I'm gonna say click, learn more for price, photos, and more information. There we go. There's my main copy, and I'm gonna include the little arrow, or what's the, there's that little arrow to point down. Headline, investment opportunity in Downey. So you can see right over here, we can see that the advertisement is literally being built out as we speak. So I can see exactly what it's gonna look like right over here. Save Downey. Oh, that's too long. So investment opportunity. Right. And in the description, that's going to be the little piece that comes down right over here. We can see we use the suggestion and I put that right in there. And I'm going to go in and click save. Okay. Right over here, there's my advertisement so far. Now on media, I can come in here, it's automatically pulling an image for me. I can add more straight off of the MLS. I am never going to use more than 6 photos. There it is. Great. We like it. That looks good. I'm going to go ahead and click save image. Awesome. So now I have, you see how this became scrolling? I want to pick the best photos possible. Let me go ahead and I'm just going to take that one. I'm going to preview and crop. And I can do all kinds of stuff. I can look at what it's going to look like. If I'm doing an advertisement for stories, it has that available right down here, right? So it's giving me all of the different cropping pieces, so I can go ahead and customize that. There I go. I can see exactly what my ad is going to look like so far. There it is. Right? And I'm going to go ahead and save that. There we go. Now I'm coming over here to my Facebook settings. I'm going to go ahead and pick my page, and I'm going to select the page that it's going to go on. So in this particular case, there it is. It goes to my business page. Or if I wanted to run it, let's say I had a different page, it's going to go ahead and note that over here too. Now, this part's important on destination. It is very, very rare that I will ever advise you to use site or landing page as your destination. There are going to be some instances that you might want to use that. That's going to be a little bit more advanced. For the purpose of this, my #1 goal is that we are collecting a name, a phone number, and an email address. I want Facebook to do the heavy lifting for me. So I'm going to select Facebook lead generation form. What that means is that when my client or the lead on social media is scrolling and my ad stops them and they click learn more, they click the button, it's going to ask them the following question. Would you like to share your information with the click of a button? And it's going to auto-populate it based on whatever they have in Facebook. We do this all the time, right? I'm sure you guys have clicked on an ad like that. That means that in order for them to get to the next page, which is going to be the price and the information and the photos of this listing, they need to actually go and give me their information. So I want to use this to increase. I don't want clicks. I want leads, right? I don't just want clicks. I want leads. Unless I am doing something special, like, you know, I have a virtual open house event and I want them to go to it. And there's full on other ways of advertising for that. Then I'm always going to use the Facebook lead generation form to collect that information. So I just want to note that here. Also, the buttons are learn more, sign up, and apply now. Use learn more. And again, we want to use learn more, apply now. Now, if you're advertising a job or different things like that, that's going to be a little bit different. In this particular case, learn more is going to be psychologically for somebody's subconscious. That's the lowest barrier to entry. When somebody clicks something like apply now or sign up, that has a different response subconsciously. So learn more is going to be the best option here. Now, you're also going to pick a website URL. So remember our handy dandy page over here. Let me go and pull this address. So I actually want to just go to my own website and I want to find that property. Should come up. Okay. If it's listed already, was this a coming soon one? Let me clear out filters. Okay, here it is. Okay, so here's the property. There it is. I can see the whole page already pre-created for me, right? Has my information on it, etc. I'm literally just gonna pull that property. I'm gonna come back to my campaign. And I'm gonna drop that in as my website URL. There it is. Now I know when my client comes in and they click learn more, they're going to my website, right, in my ecosystem, and I'm gonna get that lead in. So there it is. Now, in terms of audience, this is automatically, if you want to do the basic version on this, the automatic, it's gonna give you, because it knows the address of this property is in Downey, it's automatically giving you a 20-mile radius of Downey. You can go in and you can do a custom setting. Now you can go ahead and you can add interest like I mentioned. So as an example, being in here and maybe targeting Zillow, right? I said. So I can go ahead and target Zillow. I can target Trulia. Right, and I'm gonna say, okay, those are the interests that I'm targeting. There it is. Maybe I'm doing, I want to do 25 miles, right, of Downey, California. There is my target audience. Now, the one thing I do want to note on this, I highly recommend on any advertisement that you run around a listing or pretty much anything, you do 2 advertisements, you duplicate this at the end, and you do an additional custom audience. Number 1, do the target custom audience around the actual listing so that you can generate potential leads from other individuals in that area. Number 2, we talked about what is it that when people know you, like you, trust you, they find you credible, they know you're doing business, that's when they choose to work with you, right? They're easy to reach. The second thing that you're gonna wanna do is run a second advertisement that instead of targeting a custom audience, you can also target your database. So as an example, let's say I need to create a new audience in here. I can say a list of all my, let's say SOI that I have in my database. And so I can come over here and I'm gonna tag anybody in my database that has sphere of influence as a tag. So this is, I have people in my database tagged a particular way. If I was you, I would post any ad that I do to everybody in my database. Why? I want to be that agent that is everywhere. I want them to see my stuff everywhere, right? Psychologically, what happens, people see you and they're like, oh my God, isn't that Brandy's page? Oh my God, isn't that Chris's page? Right, so we want to make sure that we're cultivating that. So I'm also going to go ahead and create an ad based on my sphere of influence. I'm going in and I'm creating an audience. Now I'm going to go in and I'm going to select my audience. And it's gonna also, based on, now obviously this one's a little small, it'll note that, but based on the people that are in my audience, I can go ahead and send them directly. It's gonna target them based on the email that I have on file for them in command. Now, just a side note, we're not teaching this today. You can also do this with your mailers. As long as you have people noted with their mailing address. I literally sent one postcard for 79 cents to my own house through the direct mail campaign. Do this for your mailers as well, because you want everybody in your network, in your world to be able to get this. But this is how we go ahead. I'm doing target my database and I'm targeting a custom audience right over here. I'm gonna go ahead and save that. A lot of this is noted in the one sheet I gave you. This next part on lead settings did not exist until yesterday. Okay, so I'm going to share with you guys some new resources that are actually available to you that is going to be a huge, huge, huge opportunity. We know that when a lead comes in, the way that it used to work is you would just get all of those leads would fall into your campaign. As they came in, you got an indication through Cali, a mobile notification. And then when you log in, it's available as a notification through the little bells you log into command. You can go in, you can look at all those leads. You would then need to go and take it a step further and actually create or put them on a follow-up campaign. You can now automate that. So this is going to be really important. You can create a tag that you want to put on all of your Facebook lead campaigns. So maybe all the leads that come in this case, not gonna use a lead, but in this example, I just wanna go ahead and use what's already here. In this lead setting right over here, let's say, for example, in this particular property, this is advertising a listing, it's a 4-unit. So I wanna tag everybody that comes in as a potential buyer. And maybe, because this is a 4-unit, maybe I wanna tag them as an investor. So I go in and I add those 2 tags. That means every lead that comes in through this campaign is automatically gonna get those 2 tags. The second thing I wanna do is I'm like, oh, you know what? I am gonna put them on a follow-up campaign. I want, you know, these, so right over here, you can see I have one in here that says, there it is. It says Facebook Smart Plan, right there. Maybe I customized it for that particular listing. Maybe I just have a regular Smart Plan in general, but I want every lead that comes in through here, they're gonna get tagged as a buyer, they're gonna get tagged as an investor, and they are automatically gonna get into a Facebook Smart Plan. What is a Smart Plan? A Smart Plan is an automated follow-up campaign with triggers. This means that the lead comes in, and if the first trigger in that Smart Plan is an automatic email, they're instantly gonna get an email from me as soon as the lead comes in. And then maybe in 2 days, it's a text message. And so they're instantly gonna get a text message from me. And maybe in 3 days, it's a task that says call them. And so now I'm calling them, right? It's automated. There are smart plans that are built for this that are available in the library. The next class that Diana does is actually going to be on building out and using smart plans at a high level. So make sure that you guys come out for this class. I'm not going to go too in depth into that today, but this is going to now assign them to a smart plan. I'm going to go ahead and click save. And then last but not least, I'm going to go ahead and set my budget. So in this particular case, I'm like, great, I'm going to do an ad. It's going to be 10 days. I'm going to spend $30. I'm going to go ahead and save. Now, right over here, I can see my ad. Looking for a great investment opportunity in Downey. Check out this 4-unit, ready to live in. That's probably not the language I'm generally going to use. Emoji. Click to learn more for price, for photos, and more information. They can scroll through and see all the different photos. There's the information. There's my learn more button that is going to take them to this page that has the information. Questions? Questions on either side? Okay, so that's generally how we're going to utilize that. I included a lot of, that the one sheets are really geared towards giving you some guidelines. Step 1, we have to kind of set the foundation, which is making sure that our brand presence is consistent overall. And then we want to utilize a couple of these strategies as our regular, consistent lead sources, right? Organic traffic is highly underrated. I think that's a huge opportunity. I love online lead generation. I love paid lead generation. I think paid lead generation is a phenomenal strategy to use in conjunction with different types of lead generation, namely the organic traffic that you're already going to get, right? The number one secret in this business, again, is that whatever your financial goals are is directly related to the number of people that know you, think of you first when they think of real estate, find you the most credible person that they could work with, and you're easy to reach. All of these different elements are, when we talk about a lead generation strategy like online lead gen to a cold market, we're at the beginning of that funnel. We're getting them into the database so that we can become that person for them. We're utilizing it for our database for mind share. This is why any type of lead generation that we're doing, whether we're doing mailers, whether we're doing social media, any of these passive pieces, I also want to incorporate my entire database into that so that I can continue building credibility there. With the online lead program, you want to make sure that you're also doing things like putting the smart plan triggers in place so that you can automate a lot of that follow-up so that you build that relationship and become the number one person for mindshare. Because when they come in, it's just like walking into an open house and all of a sudden we think we got 1 million clients because everybody signed into our open house book, right? Or they logged in on our online lead thing so that they could see the property, and then we never hear from them again, or we never follow up with them again. Lead generation like this only works if you're consistent with that follow-up. The fortune is in the follow-up. So I just want to be really consistent in talking about that. And also inconsistency. Lead generation also does not work when we do one type of lead generation for a day, and then we're like, oh, I did it for a week and it didn't work, right? I want to revisit that the guy who decided to do YouTube as a lead generation strategy, he did 100 videos in 100 days, now does 2 videos a week regularly, and when he did not get not one comment until his 80th day, 80th video. That's almost 3 months with no type of response. Now, with the consistency, generates almost 10 to 15 leads a day. Way different type of results. So it has to do with that consistency as well. So these are the main strategies. I will note there's a couple more that I just want to share with you guys. On social, if you're using Reels, if you're using IGTV, utilize, creating series on IGTV, a buyer series, a seller series. Always have a call to action. If you're doing Facebook Lives, I think Facebook Live is highly underrated right now. Facebook, one of the things that it does is it will boost native video in organic search. So if you're doing Facebook Lives, I highly recommend doing them from your personal page. Or if you're doing them from your business page, then sharing to your personal page, you get some of that traffic. If you're going to do Facebook Live, there's an agent, a phenomenal guy. His name's Darnell Blumbeck. He's out of the Miami office in Florida. I had a chance to meet him a couple years ago. He's part of the Young Professionals Network. When he got started in his business, it was the year before the pandemic hit. He did about, I want to say, 24 units his first year. He doubled his production by halftime of 2020 in the midst of a pandemic by making one big pivot. All of his business was almost from open houses before the pandemic. He decided to do one Facebook Live every single day. Things like, guess the value of this home, right? To engage content, question and answers, where he had 3 questions just in case people didn't ask him questions on the live, right? He went live every single day. And with consistency over time, he generated enough of that traction to start having that be one of his phenomenal lead generation sources. So again, all of this has to do with time on task over time. I'll open for questions, and if not, we're gonna go ahead and for the day, my friends. I think I got you guys in was that under, a little bit over an hour. Sorry guys, I took you over just a little bit today. Any questions or thoughts, ahas? I saw Brandy, you came off mute.
Yep, great content. Thank you so much, Monica. I was just gonna ask, so when you target your database and it's looking at the email addresses, that's assuming that that's the email address that the person has registered on Facebook, correct?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
So if they have multiple different email addresses, let me go to know. If they have multiple email addresses or they're utilizing something else, then it's not going to necessarily target them. This is why we like to have multiple email addresses if available in a command. One of the things that I would also note that it's going to be really good if you're going to do the A to Z, where you're going in and you're actually having conversations with people on Facebook, do the extra step, go to their about and see if they have an email listed. Not everybody does. Some people have those settings hidden based on their privacy settings, but some do. And so I've gone with people that I will copy and paste that email. I will use that to scrub and get their birthdays, right? And the other thing you can do is you can actually copy the Facebook URL and add it on the contacts. Let me actually show you guys what that looks like. You can add that on the contact itself, and that will actually help because we have that direct partnership with Facebook. They are utilizing some of that. So as an example, let me save this as a draft. I'm gonna come right over here. I'm actually gonna find myself. Okay. I think I actually have all my social media saved on my contact, but I'm gonna come into my contacts, which is this little icon right over here. I'm gonna find myself right over here. There I am, and let's see, where is it? So an additional, okay, let me go. Let me go to edit, and you should be able to write in and add more information. Right down here in social profiles, you can add different profiles. So you can just go ahead and you can do Facebook, right? You can do one for Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn. You're just gonna go ahead and copy those links, and the social media it'll utilize those as a resource too.
Very cool. Thank you.
There's a lot in there, you guys. There's a lot that Command can do. There's a lot of updates that are coming. I'm gonna note, I highly recommend that you familiarize yourself with some of the functionality that is available right now. Bi-weekly neighborhood updates and monthly neighborhood nurtures, those emails that are automatically going out, they are getting a complete overhaul. There has been millions that have been sent within the past year. They are getting an overhaul, so they're going to include market statistics, like really great. I saw it, it looks great. Really amazing market statistics of the neighborhoods that your clients are interested in. That is coming out by the end of the year. Another feature within Command that is going to be coming out by the end of the year, we are supposed to get Command Mobile in Q4. Don't tell people, but we're supposed to get Command Mobile in Q4. You guys are the first to hear about that. The other piece that's going to be really cool, so some of those triggers on the lead generation piece of it, there's a lot of new smart plans and different resources that are coming into the profile with collections or saved searches. I know some of you guys use different tools like MLS Touch with the MLS. I have my own feelings on the multiple listing service because of how much they charge on fines and just a lot of the things that they're doing and a lot of the companies that they're working in. The more I can keep my clients in my ecosystem so that it makes my life easier instead of having to use 3 different tools, I love that. And so a couple of the things that are going to be coming, you will be able to create a collection of homes. As an example, we're going to go view these 5 homes or these 5 properties on Saturday, and I can push that to my client's mobile app so that they can see the properties that we're going to view. And after the showings, they can provide me feedback directly within the app. And they can cross comment with other buyers, right? So if they're their spouses or a group of people that are buying property together, then they can comment together. They can favorite homes and they can send you the homes that they're interested in instead of those really fun screenshots we get from Zillow, right? Or Trulia or all these other different search engines. You will have the ability to do that, and you can do that anywhere in the United States, not just here, right? That's huge because we have so much referral income that is picked up over the last year. We just got 2 or 3 checks that came in, 2 from Texas, right? Referrals that agents are getting. I have another client, or one of our agents is going to be sending an apartment building referral to Texas, right? To get this referral income that's coming in. Another one that's going out to Phoenix, right? That is additional income that you can create for your clients just by giving them the tools that allows them to search anywhere in the US. There's so much coming. Use it, right? Use the tools, my friends. All right. With that, I think that's all. I kept you guys over a little bit today. Thank you so much for joining me. Next week, we will go over, I will send out in advance. I know a couple of you guys have been asking for more of a playbook on open houses. We will go through like a step-by-step, what does open houses look like? How do you use that as a lead generation strategy? Not just, what is the open house? How do I get an open house? What does Monday through Friday look like when you're prepping for an open house? And then I'm going to throw a little bit of my own spin on it. I always like talking about how do we utilize open house to go get more listings. I think we need to put a focus on generating listings with everything that we do. So that'll be the playbook that we go over next Friday. With that, I will see you later, my friends. Bye.